So earlier this week, I talked about how the recent crypto crash led to a lot of miners selling their GPUs, which, led the overall price of GPUs drop down because, supply and demand. So a lot of people, a lot of scalpers or a lot of hoarders also needed to start selling their GPUs. There's a lot of GPUs these days. But there is one problem with the mining GPUs. Now, the thing is, GPUs are quite durable. You can't really just burn it out that easily. And in fact, mining, for instance, doesn't really put that much stress on the actual silicon, on the actual chip of the GPU. In fact, gaming actually puts more stress on that. So you should be fine in that regard. But it would seem that some memory chips are arriving, a little bit overcooked. And the thing is, mining does actually put a lot of stress on memory chips. If you ever looked at like mining performance of cards, it's largely dependent on how fast the actual memory is. So there are some cards that are turning up with dead chips, and as well as, it depends on what kind of a model of a graphics card you have. If it already had like subpar cooling for the chips to begin with, and then if that card mined for like a year and a half, whatever, 24/7, some chips might be a little bit overcooked. So I would say if you still get like a really nice, great deal on one of these used mining GPUs, I'd still go for it, but I would definitely still want to, have it within warranty, and like memory chips aren't something, that hard to replace if you have to RMA the product for warranty or something like that. But you do need to be careful, and obviously some of these cards have probably been disassembled in the past as well. Some people put, custom fans, for instance, on their cards and stuff like that. So now that they're selling them, they obviously have to reassemble them. So, are they reassembling them completely perfectly, putting all the thermal pads and stuff like that in the right places, getting all the screws in so the tension of the cooler is proper as it would need to be. So yeah, that's a big if, but it still seems that most of the cards are fine because, again, these are very durable electronics, but there could be an issue with the chips, because I mean, some cards originally just didn't have great designs for cooling the chips. The Founders Edition 3090 that had chips on both sides of the PCB. The ones on the back side would just run too hot. So if you actually had a Founders Edition's 3090, for example, with that subpar cooling of the chips, you'd actually need to underclock the memory, because or else the memory would be running way too hot, which isn't healthy for the graphics card to begin with. Plus it would throttle anyways, so if you have such subpar cooling and you've been mining for like a whole year of 24/7, yeah, the memory chips might be a little bit overcooked. So just be careful. Definitely make sure if you buy any of these any of these GPUs, that the warranty is still good, and good luck with the GPUs.